Hey folks, and welcome back to Glenn and Adrian's Rock Talk. That's Adrian.
And that's Glenn.
And today we are going to take a look at Peter Gabriel. To be honest, I'm not sure if we've featured him before. Matters not, we've certainly thought about it, and we have featured early Genesis. We're actually going to feature a song that comes after the time period that most people were listening intently to Peter Gabriel. This is from his Up album, which came out in 2002. It's only 2 albums later from So. In terms of a pop album, we're going to look at the song Darkness from the Growing Up Live tour that happened in 2003. I have never heard this song before, so I thought it would be interesting to look at some of the later stuff that he did. It looks like, just by looking at the album reviews and things out there, it would appear that this song is well regarded. The album in general is fairly well regarded. I don't think anything's going to do better than So in terms of what the critics think. And So was pretty much a masterpiece. So this is a little later on, 16 years later. And, meanwhile, I haven't seen a whole lot of Peter Gabriel performing live either. We know that his videos are great. Adrian, do you know anything about this song or this album?
No, I've got So, and I've got Us, which I think I've listened to part of that. I haven't even listened to the whole thing, I don't think. There's some good songs on Us.
Okay.
I guess that was the album just before Up.
Yeah, it was, although I believe it was a full 10 years. So that's a pretty long time between albums. It's okay. He's still making albums. He put one out in 2023 called I.O. All right, let's go ahead and check this out.
Shapes moving under me, and every fear I swallow makes me small. Inconsequential things occur, alarms are triggered, memories stir. It's not the way it has to be. I'm afraid of what I do not know. I hate being undermined. I'm afraid I can be devil man, and I'm scared to be divine. Don't mess with me, my fuse is short. Beneath this skin, these fragments cracked. When I allow it to be, there's no control over me. I have my fears, but they do not have me. Walking through the undergrowth to the house in the woods. Darker it gets. I peer through the window, knock at the door. I'm a monster I was so afraid of. Lies curled up on the floor. curled up on the floor, just like a baby boy. I cry until I laugh. I'm afraid of being mothered with my balls shut in the pan. I'm afraid of loving women. I'm scared of loving men. Flashbacks coming in every night. Don't tell me everything's alright. When I allow it to be, there's no control over me. I own my fear, so it doesn't own me. Walking through the undergrowth to the house in the woods. The deeper I go, the darker it gets. I peer through the window, knock at the door, and the monster I was so afraid of lies curled up on the floor. He's curled up on the floor, just like a baby boy. I cry until I laugh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, the beginning sounds like the beginning of a Peter Gabriel song for sure. And there's some great heavy sounds in the intro. I think I've found a new favorite Peter Gabriel song.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it sounded pretty good, pretty powerful. It actually sounded to me like something that would have felt at home on Land Lies Down on Broadway. It kind of had that, a lot of elements of the earlier Genesis, like his last work with them. So, yeah, it just kind of had that feel to it, like there was no mistaking it for a Peter Gabriel composition.
Dirge. I mean, it sounded to me like it could be Nine Inch Nails, or it could be Pink Floyd, or King Crimson, maybe even Zeppelin, or something.
Yeah.
That part that I'm talking about, where it, just starts getting loud after the beginning of the song.
Yeah, that reminded me a little of Fly on a Windshield, actually. On that stage, he was walking around being kind of sinister. He was being a character through much of it, like when he was just kind of standing creepily behind the backing vocalist there for a while, and she was purposely ignoring him entirely, almost like he was going to pounce on her or something, and then turned around, and then, they upped the music at that point. Just interesting theatrical things that they're doing up there like that to keep the tension.
It seems like a song about facing one's fears and confronting them, and to find there was nothing to be afraid of to begin with. Lines like, I cry until I laugh, I just let it be, it doesn't control me, or something like that.
I'm scared of swimming in the sea, dark shapes moving under me. You know, it's funny. After we recently looked at Pete Sinfield, and now these lyrics look like a piece of cake. You know, compared.
Yeah.
You know, I understand this. Every fear I swallow makes me small. Inconsequential things occur. Alarms are triggered. Memories stir. It's not the way it has to be.
When I allow it to be, there's no control over me. It kind of reminds me of like during meditation, you know, you try to still your mind, but things will still pop up. And when an idea comes up, you just let it exist and it'll fade away on its own.
Yeah,
And
it's good.
you can go back to your mantra or whatever once that happens.
Like, I have my fears, but they do not have me. You know.
Yes, exactly.
I see.
And that's another concept that's
Meditative.
meditative, Buddhist.
I think the song works really well, but it does feel like it's part of a bigger concept. It says most critics reviewed it positively, though Rolling Stone said Gabriel was out of touch.
Sounds like something Rolling Stone would say.
Yeah. So apparently this was his last album of original stuff until the album last year, I.O. So he had a 21-year break. Just, you know, full disclosure, we're huge early Genesis fans. And I think probably both of us have heard all the stuff up through So, at the very least. And for me, it was Passion of the Christ, which was 89. That was it for me. Good stuff, but totally different. But we heard songs like The Rhythm of the Heat, which uses world beat components.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a great drum part at the end of it.
It's on the album Security that the record company decided to name Security. Otherwise, it would have been the fourth album called Peter Gabriel. But it's kind of funny. I can see why maybe they didn't like that.
He wanted to put out records sort of like issues of a magazine, I think he said once.
Yeah, the only problem with that is that if you tell your friend to go buy this Peter Gabriel album, there's a good chance they're going to buy the wrong one.
Yeah.
You know, so they started resorting to saying, you know, the one with the fingernails.
Scratch or Melt or Car.
Right.
Yeah, they have nicknames.
Overall, pretty interesting to see him performing and to still have so many components of his original musical artistry. This was almost a throwback because some of the things he did right after leaving Genesis don't really resemble Genesis, but this did for me, for my years.
Yeah, I can see that.
So any closing thoughts, Adrian?
Just, it sounds like it was, just from the words, it seems like about facing one's fears and learning there's nothing to be afraid of. You know, the monster I was afraid of lies curled up on the floor.
Folks, why don't you let us know what you thought of this? And if you are a Peter Gabriel fan, and if you were on top of this album when it came out, why don't you let us know about that? Be interesting to hear about it from somebody who actually was paying attention at the time. You know, for us, it's kind of an update. Yeah, give your thoughts below and experiences if you saw the tour or anything like that. And if you have suggestions, leave those as well. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And if you enjoyed our presentation, please subscribe. All right, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll catch you on the next one. All right, take care, folks.
See you all later.